This is Polly Requa, host of Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk, and this episode is sponsored by BarkBox. What is BarkBox? BarkBox is a delivery of 4 to 6 natural treats and super fun toys curated around a surprise theme each month. My 2 dogs love it when BarkBox arrives. They go nuts. All of the treats are made in the United States or Canada. BarkBox offers free shipping in the United States, and if your dog loves something, check out barkshop.com to easily find it again. For a free extra month of this great product, visit barkbox.com/barkvet when you subscribe to a 6 or 12-month plan.
You're listening to Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk. Each week, your host, Polly Requa, interviews veterinarians and individuals in the pet industry from across the nation answering pet questions. Bark and Wag podcast is produced weekly for your enjoyment, and show notes can be found at barkandwag.com under the podcast tab. That's barknwag.com. Please remember to subscribe to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk.
Welcome to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk. I'm your host, Polly Requa. Today we're talking to Cindy Myers, animal listener and intuitive coach, as she discusses her seminar, 5 Steps to Animal Communication, on August 19th in Somis, California. Welcome, Cindy.
Thanks for having me, Polly.
Well, we loved having you talking about all of the other topics, and so I know our listeners would like to know more about your class that's going on. So please tell us more about this one-day seminar.
Sure. This is called 5 Steps to Animal Communication, and it's based on my book called 5 Steps to Animal Communication. And it is an all-day hands-on workshop at the farm Alpacas at Windy Hill in beautiful Somis, California, about 40 miles northwest of LA. And it is you learn the techniques on how to communicate with your animals. And yes, we will be using and working with alpacas. However, no alpaca experience is necessary. I just love teaching with them because they're so incredibly intuitive, and it's actually more effective to use a different species than what you're used to, because we project so much of what we think our animals are communicating to us, but it's usually our own stuff. And we were just talking about that a little bit, Polly, with your experience.
Right.
and so by going with a species that you aren't familiar with or limited familiarity with them, you actually learn faster. And because they're a little larger breed and a herd animal, very flighty animals, their intuitive base is, they're just highly intuitive animals. And so they're really great teachers. And they actually enjoy teaching us humans, us two-leggers as they call us, how to communicate in that way. And so on this farm, there's, I don't know how many are on that farm anymore. I used to board there. That's where I got my start. And there's a couple hundred alpacas. So there's so many opportunities to go out and work with different animals and practice these techniques. The techniques are quite easy to learn how to do. And then once you learn the actual skills, then you can apply it with your dogs, your cats, your horses, whatever species you wish to use these techniques to communicate with. But again, it's really, everybody asks me, why don't you teach it with dogs or cats? Because that's what I have. And I'm holding firm, because I know this is actually a better way for you to learn how to communicate with animals by working with these animals. So it's a really great class. It's fun. It's all day. And lunch is provided. We got an early bird special going on right now, so at $135 per person, good through the end of July. So
okay.
It'll be a lot of fun and a lot of hands-on, a lot of experience out there with the animals. I say hands-on. Actually, you're not going to get to. We don't touch the alpacas at all. So we'll cover the various techniques. We'll actually do a little energy work with them. We do a little introduction on how to do some energy work with animals, which again you can apply with your own pets when you go home.
And so, what about clothing? Do you need any type of certain clothing for the event?
It will. Southern California and that area can be pretty hot in August. So I would have your layers to be comfortable and we'll be outside a lot. So wear sunscreen, hats. I do recommend closed-toe shoes. We are working with animals that you need to be, if they step on you, it wouldn't feel very good if you were wearing sandals. So I always recommend anytime you're on a farm, you should wear closed-toe, tennis shoes, something like that is more than sufficient. But just wear plenty of sunscreen and hats. We'll be in the barn for the lecture part to get us out of the sun. And then we go out with the animals. There's some trees and shady areas, but we actually go out where the animals are living in their pastures, and we go to them. They're not going to come to us. And so that's part of the technique, is learning how to communicate with them using their language, asking their permission for us to get closer to them. Pretty much, I don't think I've ever had anybody not come away not being able to do some sort of communication with these animals. So you will have a positive experience with them.
Wow, super impressive. And are any of the alpacas yours?
No, not at this farm anymore. I have my own farm now, and all 24 live on my farm with me.
Okay, so you're not bringing any of your animals with you?
No. I might remember some of them that might still be there from when I boarded down there, but no, which is also a really, it shows you that we can go there, and these animals who don't know me, it's been over 7 years since I've lived down in Southern California and boarded down there. And so most of the animals are ones I don't know, and you'll be able to see that even somebody like myself can go in there not knowing these animals, and we'll be able to communicate with them. It's not like they're mine and they know me really well and are used to this. Mm-hmm. Most of these animals have not had two-leggers communicating with them in this fashion, and so it's really fun for them as well as for us.
And so the listeners that would like to participate, where do you fly into to attend? Where is SOMAS, California?
You're about an hour, well, depending on traffic, of course, LA. You're about 50 miles from LAX. You're probably closer to Burbank Airport. So there's a couple of airports that are not too far that are major airports. Burbank and LAX are your closest for that one. Oxnard is a small airport, so I would recommend Burbank or LAX.
And are you going to be doing these throughout the country, or are you sticking with just the West?
This is the only one I have scheduled right now. I'm actually going to pilot a new course on my farm later this summer, early fall, probably end of August, 1st of September. I haven't set a date yet. And so I'm going to just pilot it. It's going to be a small class, but it will be on my farm. And I'm probably going to limit it to about 10 people just to practice. We're going to take this 5 steps to the next level. We're going to do a lot more energy work and really focus on how to do energy work with animals and really hone your personal intuition and how you communicate with them.
Wow, super. So I look forward to hearing more about it, and I would like to invite you if there's any alpaca farms around the Colorado area. We'd love to have you here.
Oh, there's quite a few, actually. I just have to find one that's willing to host one.
Super. Well, hopefully this podcast will help.
Yes, I would love it.
Well, best of luck and have a great seminar. And we look forward to having you back in August to find out how the actual 5 Steps to Animal Communication seminar went.
Great. And you can sign up right now. If anybody's interested, they can sign up on my website. It's all set up with the early bird pricing. So again, the early bird is through July 31st.
Okay, and I will post this next week, and I'll also put all the information in the show notes.
Great.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and we look forward to having you back.
Thanks, Polly.
Thank you.
Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk is sponsored by BarkBox. What is BarkBox? BarkBox is a delivery of 4 to 6 natural treats and super fun toys curated around a surprise theme each month. Choose a dog size, choose a plan, 1, 6, or 12 months, and receive your BarkBox in the mail. BarkBox is committed to making dogs happy, working with local and independent businesses. BarkBox supports shelters, rescues, and nonprofits, helping dogs find their forever home. Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk loves their mission. For a free extra month, visit barkbox.com/vet talk and receive an extra month when you subscribe to a 6 to 12 month plan. Thank you for listening to Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk. If you like what you just heard, we hope you'll pass along our web address, www.barkandwag.com, to your friends and other pet owners. Have a pressing question for a veterinarian? Ask your question at barkandwag.com under the podcast tab. This has been a KFR production. Join us next time for another edition of Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk.